Alright, so this team right here, let's see, what is this one? A wild team. Alright, so this team right here has 3 pets that can all be caught in the wild. And it's basically just a bleed team. I have the Kelp Scuttler with his power type with a really high attack power value of 357. Like one of the highest in the game, because that's really strong. And his Rip and Blood in the Water combo can kill low health pets and just do a shit ton of damage to everything else. And I like to go into Shell Shield. The bad thing about this guy is that he doesn't really have a viable third basic attack ability. Like the reason you see a lot of Toothies, these little alligator pets in bleed teams, is because not only can they do Rip and Blood in the Water, but they also have a basic attack option in their second slot. Kelp Scuttler doesn't. There's only one crab pet I think that does, with a really high attack power value and can use Rip and Blood in the Water. And it also has a basic attack option, but I think it's like a rare drop from the Timeless Isle. And I don't have it yet. Oh, no, even he doesn't have it. He does have Healing Wave, though, which is pretty good. Oh, yeah, I don't think any of the crabs actually have a basic attack option in their second slot. So that's why Shell Shield's pretty good, because Haunt is pretty popular again. And if you throw up Shell Shield, you take no damage. Because he's an aquatic type as well. The other 2 pets are just undead pets who can, 1, throw out a bleed. Blighted Scrolls is pretty good on his own. If you throw out your bleed and then go into Stampede, they'll take double damage from the bleed during the whole duration. Also, if you use Crouch before, you'll be able to last for a long time. And his stats are not half bad. He's not really good at anything, but he doesn't really have a pure breed stat. So I just went with power speed because it's nice to have a little bit of speed and everything. Since he's undead, his health doesn't really matter as much. But having 1400 is pretty solid. And then a little bear cub, HP breed because it's the hardest hitting undead pet that can use Maul. Maul is a really good bleed ability. And I have 2 other pets I can throw out the bleed. I don't think there is a pet in the game. You know what, I say that, but I think they added one in Warlords that can use both Maul and throw up a bleed. I'm going to check real quick. I think that's still the case. There still isn't a pet who can use both Maul and a bleed. Because Maul and bleed is a lot of damage. Baby Blizzard, Panda, yep, it's still the case. Not a single pet in the game who can use both Maul and a bleed. Because if Maul on its own hits really damn hard, and it hits for an additional, basic attacks worth of damage if they're also bleeding, so it is more than Blood in the Water, for sure. But it's not really that much more. No, this Maul right here does more damage than Blood in the Water if they're bleeding, and this is a ridiculously high-powered pet. And this one, for being an HP breed, his attack power is the same as a squirrel. Only 289, that's not very great, but it's like the highest one that of all the undead pets that can actually use it. And Undead's great. I don't know. Ever since they nerfed the Undead racial, I think the mechanical cub might be better. Just because they don't actually have that disadvantage on their next turn if they die. And they usually only live for 1 turn anyway. But then again, you're guaranteed 2 turns with this guy, because the stats are basically the same. Whatever, I'll figure that out off camera. That's not something to discuss while you're doing the intro. Let's see, Ghastly Kid. He's faster than most of my pets. So, best thing I can do is just go into Internet Explorer and just throw out my Shell Shield to completely negate the damage of his Haunt. This will literally completely negate all of it. I'm not going to take a single point of damage from Haunt, which screws up his strategy a little bit. He has only 1 move that can hit me really hard, and if he goes into it right away, he's going to be forced to switch out. So let's go into Blood in the Water. He went straight into it. Whew. Alright. Honestly, that's not really a big deal. Because now he has to switch out. Because he doesn't have any abilities. And I'm going to get a nice little maul on him before he does that. And is he just going to stay in? Yeah, I guess he's just going to stay in and hope for one more Bone Barrage. because he rushed to kill my whatchamacallit, Internet Explorer, he was only able to do, well, to play the Bone Serpent correctly, you have to alternate your moves in between Bone Barrage, otherwise you're going to be left without turns to actually do anything. And he didn't do that correctly. He just went straight into a Darkness, into a Nocturnal Strike to take out my Kelp. Oh. Shit, that's not good. I didn't even account for the fact that I'd miss Undercall Darkness. What I was doing there was going for a bash, that way I could switch out. Crap. I should still be able to switch out. I'm just gonna take a hit. Oh, thank goodness, he just went for Puppies of the Flame. Whew, thank goodness! Now I can just go into my Blighted Squirrel, use Crouch, and now I gotta think hard because I am in a disadvantageous position right now. Ideally I want to switch into my bear in order to get off a nice maul against this guy, but I can't really afford to switch out right now, so I'm just gonna have to probably stay with my Blight Squirrel till he dies, and hope I get a bleed off before he kicks the bucket. So I'm just gonna go for Bleed Stampede combo. Make him do double damage, that way he takes haunt levels of damage from my bleed. It's gonna stay on him, and I'm gonna do strong damage to this guy. I know he has Hoof for sure, because I went against him earlier, and 90% of Ghastly kids take Hoof anyway. So all I gotta do is hope that I get off a... Oh shit. Okay, so if I'm able to live long enough to kill him, I'll be able to survive 2 turns. In those 2 turns, will I be strong enough to kill him? If the bleed lasted for 1 more turn, maybe. Damn it, what I want to do is kill his Corgi pup. Oh shit. I timed out. Fuck. I didn't even consider that. I thought I had a lot more time. Crap, they're slowing down my time. I could have sworn I'd have like 20 seconds or something. Fuck. I'm screwed. Well, I lost. I might have stood a chance, but forfeiting my turn right there completely just ruined any chances I had of coming back from that. Oh, if I had played that perfectly. I don't know. There are a couple things that went wrong, but mostly it just came down to that miss right there. Even then, it was kind of cutting it close. Missing with that Darkness kind of cemented my loss, because I needed that bash in order to switch out without taking a hit, and that probably would have allowed me to stay alive long enough to take him out. Oh well. Alright, so this team right here, how am I gonna deal with this one? I should be fine to just start off with Internet Explorer and just try to burst him down. Blood in the water, I'm still gonna go for the rip just to get the bleed going. Oh, you took feedback instead of that other ability. That's good news. Alright, I'm gonna go into Shell Shield to try to predict a dodge, which he doesn't have. Oh, neat. I thought for sure he was gonna go for the dodge. Alright, looks like he's gonna go for a Wish instead. Okay. I'm just gonna go for another rip. Oh, he switched out with rip on him. Man, this dude is trying to predict the fuck out of me. Luckily, I'm playing unconventionally, so it's not really a big deal. But this guy is going for some major predicts right now. This is some high-level play. Alright, is he gonna lock himself into Hunting Party? He should know better than to try to use a Zandalari ankle render in PvP. Only I was a little bit faster than him though. Alright, so he's at half health in the back row. He should be able to heal it up. I don't have a bleed. I'm taking 100% extra damage right now. So, is he gonna go for a feed? Maybe. The only one I can switch out into is the blighted squirrel. If it goes for a feat, that's fine. He'll be wasting it. But now it looks like he just went into spirit claws instead. Oh, which is also fine. I'm gonna go straight into a crouch. Try to outlast him. Nope, he's gonna go for the prowl feed combo. That's fine. I should be able to live it. And with the bleed and 100% extra damage, I can't really see myself losing this one. He was trying to predict me like crazy, and I was playing unconventionally, so it didn't work. Because I was trying to out-predict him, but since he didn't use the abilities I thought he was using, it turned out that I had a really good advantage on him. Why would you not take dodge? Dodge is so much better. That's what lost him the game, really. Also, if I was just playing normally, he probably would have had a chance to win too, but I wasn't. I was playing unconventionally. I keep saying that, but I'm not really explaining what I did wrong. I mean, different than what a normal person would do. You see, what I did was when I started off, I went for the bleed like normal, because I assumed he would go for an attack as well. Or if he didn't, that's fine, because I could have set up my shell shield on the next turn because I thought he had dodge. And that's basically what I did. I went for my bleeds and then I went for the shell shield because I knew he had dodge and I knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use it pretty soon. But instead he had cleanse, which kind of threw that loop. What he assumed I was going to do was to set up my bleed and then go for blood in the water immediately, because that's what a normal pet battler would have done. He didn't think that I was trying to predict him. So he tried to predict what I would do, so we both predicted each other, and it turns out my predictions worked because I was predicting him to basically dodge blood in the water with his dodge, but he didn't. He cleansed it instead, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I just bleeded him up again, and then he switched out. Because he was trying to predict blood in the water again. I was like, oh, is he going to try to wish up the blood in the water damage? Because he is magic type, so it's not going to hurt him that much. So I was like, I guess I'll just go for another bleed instead. And then I'll use blood in the water in the next turn. But he switched out. Because that's a good thing to do. If you get bleeded up and you know your opponent's about to use blood in the water, the best thing to do is just to switch. Because there's only a 50% chance it'll hit, and there's a good chance it'll miss. And instead I went for a second bleed because I thought the wish was going to go off in the next turn. So he made a whole bunch of bad predictions. I don't know, that's a weird case. Like, he was predicting what I was trying to do, but he made bad plays as well. And I was just predicting him as well, and I was able to out-predict him. So that was fun. Another one of those instances where using your brain helps instead of just doing what your team is meant to do blindly without any kind of consideration for what your opponents are doing.